Hey everybody, welcome back. It's me, Teri Hunter. It is Thursday, September 13th, 2018, and I'm here with this week's angel readings by Astrological sign. If you'd like to learn more about me, my services, or to book a private session, please feel free to go to my website at www.terihunter.com. That's TERIHUNTER.com, or you can contact me by phone or text. The information is below. Okay, so let's just jump right into it. First off, I want to apologize if there's noise in the background. The hotel is still under renovation, and they're currently sanding the pool deck. So we're hermetically sealed inside, and really hoping that you guys aren't distracted by that. Okay, the other thing I want to say is that you should always check your ascendant and your moon as well. For females, it's the ascendant first is the most influential. That's your rising sign, then your moon sign, and then your sun sign. For my males, it is your ascendant, then your sun, and then your moon. If you're unsure what those are, there are lots of websites you can go to get a free birth calculator. One that I like is astrolada.com, so you can try her, astrolada.com. She has a free birth calculator, and you can check there. All right, let's dive into Aries. What do the angels have to say for you this week, my dear? All right. The first card is Shanti. The second is Francesca. The third is Ray. And the final is Merlina. So what I want to say for my Aries is the first thing I think when I look at this spread is that this is a week of a bit of disruption, a bit of I kind of want to use the word a little chaotic. It may be part of the back to school idea, the fall. I have Shanti in the foundational position, and she's the angel of peace. But before peace can really come forth, whatever is disrupting that peace has to be moved out. In the opportunity or the obstacle, I have Francesca. She's saying, what do you want to experience now? Visualize that. Imagine how that feels, and that will help bring that about. Because there's something about this time for you, Aries, that feels like you're a little stuck in the story of what's not working. I have Ray in the Angel's Advice. She is a card of yoga, of meditation, but yoga and exercise, but she's sitting in a meditative position. So for me, whenever I look down, I see her connecting with spirit through her power chakra. Then she talks through her heart chakra and her throat chakra to spirit about what she wants to experience, to visualize that. I almost want to say this, Aries, you are ruled by Mars, you are doers, you are action, you're initiative, and at this week, I feel like it's really not about action outside. It's more about giving yourself an opportunity to pull back. I have Merlina saying you're confused and indecisive because you don't have enough information. I don't really think that's the case. It may be for some of you, but as a collective, I think that this is more about sitting back so that you can see a bigger picture of what's going on. Sometimes when things get disruptive, they're actually productive, meaning that if this incident, if this disruption, if this challenge hadn't taken place, then the mound under the rug would just be getting bigger and bigger and bigger. This is an opportunity to clear that out. And I also want to say this for Aries, as you walk through this bit of disruption, know that this is temporary. Really, it is. This is something that is presenting more of an opportunity than an obstacle if you choose to look at how you're showing up through this situation, what you're focusing in on. Sometimes when we get into certain dynamics, we get so used to experiencing the same thing over. Oh, I know what she's going to say. I know what he's going to do. And this is where I really think Spirit's wanting you to open up and actually imagine a shift. And in doing so, that helps support the energy for that shift. Okay, let's go on to Taurus. All right, my little bulls. What is up for you this week? All right, my first angel is Maya. The second is Sonia. The third is Serena. And the final is Serafina. Maya is a card that represents schooling and education, and that may be appropriate for many of you. You know, we are really back into the back to school time. But I also think that what Maya always offers us is an opportunity to learn about how we show up. Right now, it's interesting because the next card is Sonia, which represents a deceased loved one, but also for me, again, as a collective, when I'm doing such a large group of people, potentially all around the world, there's a lot of Taurians out there, this for me is your spirit guides. And I have Serena, the angel of abundance, in relation to your spirit guides. This is telling me that you are getting an education through Maya about abundance, about resources, about receiving the things that you need and not trying to manage how it shows up. There are so many times that there are opportunities for us to profit, to gain, to get what we need, but it isn't necessarily because a dollar comes to us. It may be in the form of a gift, a trade, a discount. There's many ways that that can come. So as you focus in on that, you're being guided, and you're being taught that you're being guided in some ways. You're being reminded, because you don't know how it's going to play out, that you are being supported, because in the final position is Serafina, saying that there's a happy change to your family. And that may be as a collective, but as the group that lives within us. You know, we all have, you know, there used to be this show on TV called Herman's Head, and it was like, you know, inside this guy's head were 4 or 5 different people. One was angry, one was happy, one was anxious. There was all these different dynamics of his emotional body in the head. So for me, for Taurus, your spirit guides are here, your angels are here with you this week to remind you that you are being supported by spirit. And as you focus in on that support, that it is there for you, you're going to start to feel ease in your interior world, which will then go out into the exterior world. All right, let's go on to Gemini. All right, what does Spirit have to say for Gemini this week? Well, our first angel popped out as Oceana. The second is Ray. The third is Vanessa. And the final card is Archangel Michael. All right, my Geminis, it sounds like it's time for you to be brave, moving forward with the things that you want. Oceana represents taking loving action, moving in forward with my truth, with what I want, with the things that I desire. Ray is telling you to connect with spirit, to actually, Ray for me, and again, you guys, I'm going to repeat myself a lot because these angels have a specific symbol for me. So when I see Ray, she talks about yoga and exercise, and that may be applicable for many of my Geminis to help you balance yourselves out. But I also think it's about connecting my power center through my third eye, talking lovingly through to myself. That my desires, if I were to have something that I want, if there's something I want to experience on this planet, it is there for me. The road to get there is in many ways challenged not just by the dynamics of the universe themselves, but by how I view them. Because Vanessa is saying, are you going to take your actions based on faith or fear? And then I have Archangel Michael in the final position, asking you to have the courage, to be brave, to step into Oceana's energy and lovingly take one step at a time towards what it is you want to experience. So let's just say that you wanted to endeavor, what can I say? What can I use as a, because I don't want to go to career again. I don't want to go to love again. Let's say you want to learn a new skill. Let's say that your whole life you've always wanted to learn to play the guitar and you just never did it. You just always said, well, I'm this, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Now is a time Oceana is saying, you know what, do it. Take small steps. Enjoy the process of discovery. Discovery within yourself of your wants and your desires. Be brave. You don't have to commit to a lifetime of guitar lessons. You can just check it out and see if you like it. And if you don't like it, you don't have to continue. I really think that Archangel Michael is saying be brave in, and Vanessa is saying be faithful. Connect with us with the things that you want, and then take small steps towards it. And the first step, Gemini, may be just to sit back and imagine what it feels like when you've attained whatever that is, when you're playing that guitar, when you're singing that song, when you've run that marathon and you've finished. Okay. It doesn't have to be about changing the world, monumental things this week. I think this may be about small things. This may not be so much about huge things. And then the small things lead to bigger things. And this is why Archangel Michael stands in the foundation, in the final position, saying that these small changes will help give you the courage and the confidence you need to continue to take bigger actions, as Oceana is asking. All right, let's go on to Cancer, because I forgot you guys last week. I'm so sorry, guys, but you did get your own video, so it was good that I found out, but I do apologize. And thanks all you guys who let me know that I forgot you. That was awesome. It kind of made me feel in a weird way loved, because a lot of you don't comment. So when it wasn't there, you reached out to me, and I loved that. Okay, so let's go on, my little Cancers, aka moon children. Ooh. All right, in our foundational position, we have Archangel Raphael. In our opportunity or obstacle, we have Archangel Gabriel. In our angel's advice is Bridget, and the final card is Daniel, the angel of marriage. Okay, so Archangel Raphael always offers a healing of some sort. And as I've done this work, I've found that I don't really think that we're broken as people or as souls, as much as we're here to remember the truth of who we are, and then to stand in that energy and reconcile the challenging experiences. A person who never goes through challenges has no resources when a challenge presents itself. So rather than trying to resist it or to feel broken by whatever's going on, or whatever disappointment or whatever fears you may be experiencing right now, call on Archangel Raphael for you to see the wisdom of it, so that this fear becomes an empowerment exercise, or this dynamic becomes something that moves you forward. Because I have Archangel Gabriel in the opportunity or the obstacle, and she really talks about having a divine life's purpose in arts and communication. To me, she speaks of, when I say arts and communication, I immediately want to go to, acting, dancing, singing, journalism, all those kind of really fun sounding jobs. But I also think that she speaks on a bigger level, because she's asking the people who receive her energy to be confident in their desires, and to look. I've got Bridget in the angel's advice. I feel like the things that my Cancerians, my moon children, are trying to birth into the world, I think that you potentially have had a dual thought, and the dominant half of the thought has been struggle, has been the challenge, has been what's not working, it's not happening, the money's not there, the great boyfriend isn't presented himself, that audition hasn't happened, whatever your story is, the buyer didn't come in and buy my piece of art. This is a dominant theme that if you look at it and you say, okay, maybe it's not that it's not happening, it's more of a when. It is happening. I just don't know when it's happening. And standing there, because I think maybe this Archangel Gabriel and Bridget together are saying that your dominant thought has been blocking things. And I'm not going to say that you guys have not been swimming upstream with all the planetary activity. I've talked about it week after week all summer long. Mars, Saturn, Mercury, and now we have Venus in her shadow period. But at the same time, while you've had these dynamics sort of challenging you, you've also had an inner dialogue that has been blocking you. So when I see Daniel, the angel of marriage here, not so much as about a partner on the outside, as much as partnering with yourself on the inside, and giving as much life to really looking at when you contemplate wanting to achieve something or experiencing something, how much of that thought is in the challenge of it, the road to hoe, the rock you're going to push uphill to get there, because that is the message you're really sending to the universe. And the universe, in its infinite wisdom, doesn't really care how much we struggle before we achieve our goals, because we are the ones driving the bus of that struggle. Because when we stand in faith, then we see our struggles from a different perspective, and that different perspective offers us opportunities to empower ourselves, to say, oh, I've been down this road before, and I know if I just hold steady that I will get guided action as to what the next step is. Now's no time to panic. Now is a time to re-engage. Archangel Gabriel is saying, engage in your desires with full confidence that you will achieve them. And every obstacle that you go through in order to get there is strengthening you for when you do stand in that, to own it, to enjoy it, and to claim it. All right, let's go on to Leo. What does Spirit have to say for my Leos this week? All right, our first angel is Maya, the second is Isabella, the third is Indriel, and the final is Shanti. Well, okay, so basically, Leo, what I want to say here is that Maya is my card of schooling and education, and I said it a few signs ago, we are going through, or we're in the United States, at least the beginning of the school year. So you may find yourself to be very, very busy putting your families together, getting things all spanky for the holiday season. I have Isabella saying, yes, the timing is right for this new venture. And I don't necessarily think that's a venture right now as much as it's just about kind of, all right, let me just run through this really quick, because Isabella is saying, yes, the timing is right and the opportunity or the obstacle. Indriel is saying, shine your light. And then I have Shanti, the angel of peace. So my first and my fourth position are more rooted into the material world, where the second and the third are more advisory. So right now, if things have been a little crazy and a little hectic for Leos, if you've been, kind of running around a little bit like a chicken with your head cut off, whatever the case may be, it may not be with your children, it may be with work, it may be with just getting things back on track from the summer months. But I think maybe it's also about a little bit about not allowing yourself to get the bum's rush, to take more methodical action moving forward. And when I say methodical, it's like I'm thinking balanced action, versus go, 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 go. Sort of give yourself an opportunity to play. I feel like I shouldn't have to tell Leos to play, but there's a little bit of something here that says to me that I need to tell you to relax and to enjoy the process, because as you enjoy whatever Maya's offering you in the way of an education, and I always think it's an energetic education, something that speaks to how am I showing up, and then in being aware of that, even if it feels uncomfortable or disruptive, if I'm showing up in an energy that I feel proud of, I feel like I'm communicating clearly and authentically, then I feel like that's where Shanti really brings in the peace. It's not outside, it's inside. It's how I feel about me as I walk through whatever this dynamic is. And I feel good about myself, because that's what Isabella and Indriel are offering me. All right, guys, let's go on to Virgo. All right, Virgo. What is in the stars for you this week? What do the angels have to say? Speaking of stars, last Friday night, the night sky was so clear for the new moon. It was so dark and the constellations were shining, and it was just, I swear, I thought I was up in the mountains. It was awesome. All right, Virgo. First card is Crystal. The second is Desiree. The third is Grace and Antoinette, and the final is Opal. So Crystal is always a card that says that I can't see the outcome, that I'm standing in a place of unknown, I'm unsure, and I might be slightly worried about it. But she offers me faith. She says a positive, there's more coming down the pike that you can see, and it's better than you can really imagine. I have Desiree and I have Grace and Antoinette in the Angel's Advice and in the Opportunity or the Obstacle. And these two cards together are, there's been stalls, there's been pauses, there's been interruptions, there's been delays, and this is really kind of a time for Virgos to be compassionate to yourself and to the others involved. There's been, again, so many retrograde planets that a lot of this activity has not just been, at the hands of the humans trying to drive the bus. There's been things in the stars that have required us to slow down so that we can take methodical, intentional, and guided action. Because in the final position is Opal, and Opal says that your children are safe on heaven and earth. But also for me, when I'm talking to such a large collective, I mean, this is potentially reaching people all over the world, then I have to say, my Virgos, this is about your inner child and allowing yourself to have faith and focus that the things that you're looking to experience down the line, the things you want to come out of the horizon and into your world, they are coming. And I think that they might be coming better than you anticipate them coming. So your participation in a more joyous viewpoint versus this sort of arduous, I got to get it done, every once in a while, there comes a point when we have done everything we can do, and now we just have to let time take over. And as I say that, I think about, okay, I've put all the ingredients in a pot and I'm making my marinara sauce, and I have to let time allow for the herbs to do their thing and infuse the sauce. So having that faith, and I want to offer this to you, Virgo, thanking God and the angels for the outcome you want, regardless of what the status is of that outcome right now, is hugely powerful, hugely powerful. It's not a please, it's a thank you. Thank you for me selling that house. Thank you for me buying that house. Thank you for me, you fill in the blanks. All right, let's go on to Libra. My hair flipped over. I'm on the wrong side. There we go. Sorry, guys. All right, my Libras, my fellow Libras. Let's see what Spirit has to say for us. Of course, I will say again, I check my rising sign first. I am so much more Aries than I am Libra. I walk fast, I talk fast, I'm very action-oriented, initiative-driven. All right, my Libras. Woo. Bridget is first. On deck, Athena, Shanti, and Sonia. All right. I want to say, look before you leap. Think before you speak. Bridget is asking me to look deeper into a situation right now, and I think this is about taking a pause, actually choosing my reaction versus knee-jerk. In the Opportunity, the Obstacle, I have Athena, who's saying that it's safe for me to lovingly assert myself, but the key word there is lovingly, and then the second is assert. The third in the Angel's Advice is Shanti. Shanti is the angel of peace, but before peace can come in, there is a disruption. So I want to go back to Bridget. If for some reason Libra has felt, I don't want to confront the situation, it'll fix itself. I don't like it, but it's been going on for so long, I have no power to change it. I think there's a little something Bridget is telling you to look deeper in. How are you participating in that dynamic? And I mean this energetically. So if, let's just say, you've had someone in your life for forever and a day, and they have a certain habit that you don't appreciate, and you've given up trying to shift them. You've given up trying to complain about it. I think what Bridget is asking you to do is to look into your buying into the actually doing it. So Athena is saying, I'm going to lovingly assert myself, may not necessarily be about asserting myself to that person. Please don't clip your toenails in the living room. Maybe it's about going to Spirit and saying thank you for them going outside and clipping their toenails. Because the last card is Sonia, and Sonia talks about a deceased loved one sending you love and hellos from heaven. But for me, this is about my spirit guides. Again, I have to go with the big collective of potentially Libras all around the world are going to have varying experiences, but with this common theme of how am I, Libra, participating in the dynamic, which I don't necessarily enjoy because I have believed that it is immobile. I believe it won't change because I don't think it's about trying to affect change somewhere else as much as it's about sort of giving myself an opportunity to connect with spirit and say, all right, I'm powerless over this situation. Thank you for giving me the eyes to see this in a new way, in a new perspective. And in doing so, that is where Shanti comes in and offers you peace. Peace is only, I mean, of course, if we're at war and bullets are flying, yeah, peace is a little bit more tangible. But truly, peace comes from an interior world, never the exterior world. World. Thank you. Tongue twister there. Okay, let's go on to Scorpio. What does Spirit have to say for Scorpio this week? All right. Our first angel is Aurora. Our second is Ariel. The third is Archangel Michael. And the final is Omega. Well, this is warm and fuzzy and yummy. Okay, so Aurora is saying fly high, meaning go for this, reach for the stars. You're on a roll, Scorpio. You're on a roll, and other people may not get it. Other people may think you're being a little bit of a bulldozer, or they may not, agree with how you're going about things. But soon you're going to inspire them by your tenacity and your ability to make things happen. In the opportunity or the obstacle, I have Ariel, and Ariel is a connection to spirit, but in the way that you start to see as you experience things from Aurora's perspective, kind of stepping outside the box a little bit and then seeing yourself succeed, it's going to give you more encouragement and more drive to continue to move that direction, to continue to capitalize on that, because Archangel Michael is encouraging you to have the courage to go for it, to really go for it. And then I have Omega in the final position. So I want to say too, again, when you're going for whatever it is you're jumping off the balcony to achieve, there is a certain amount of confidence that comes from, I want to say, slow, methodical steps versus blasting out. So you're on a roll right now, Scorpio, and I don't think it's going to be just for this week, but I think this week is about to tee up this roll. And as you allow yourself to be gentle in your expression with others, as they don't quite understand why you're doing what you're doing, when you're doing it, how you're doing it, and what your methods are. So you allow yourself to have this sort of, okay, I'm sort of a lone soldier right now. Nobody kind of gets it. But in hindsight, they will get it. And they will get it in a way that they'll be able to see your connection to spirit, meaning your energetic dynamic and how it was your faith in yourself, your courage, your bravery that made this come to fruition and got you, at least if you're not to the whole end of this particular story or cycle, then you've made a milestone towards it. Okay? All right, let's go on to Sagittarius. All right, my Sagittarius, what is up this week? Our first angel is Opal. The second is Francesca. The third is Oceana. And the final is Fiona. Okay, guys, this is interesting because for me, Opal is a card that says that your children are safe on heaven and earth. And, I'm, again, repeating myself, but as a collective, Sagittarius, this is your inner child. Those children in heaven are your dreams, your desires, your hopes, your wants, and sometimes your fears. God is in charge of them and taking care of them. And as you are gentle with yourself, Francesca offers you She says, visualize what you want. And I want to say this, because sometimes when we start to try to visualize what we want, we go immediately to the road to get there. How will that money come in? How will I get that contact or that job or that person's attention so that I can, do this or that? That will trip us up often. But when we can imagine how it feels. So let's just say you have a big bill to pay. Let's just say, it came out of nowhere, your car broke down, and now you have to pay $1,000 to get it repaired. If you can imagine, rather than how am I going to find the $1,000? Oh no, I'm going to have to put it on my credit card. Oh no, I'm going to have to, now my minimum is going to go up, blah, blah, blah. If you could imagine, that money's going to show up. I don't know how it's going to show up, but whatever, it's going to show up. Or somehow this is all going to play out much easier than I had imagined it would. Because Oceana is asking you to lovingly take action. And I think I know it's in relation to Francesca asking you to visualize how it feels once you've come to the outcome of this. And then in the final position, I have Fiona. Fiona is saying, now that you've asked God and the angels for help, be open to receiving that help. That help comes in the form of having the innocence of a child. A child does not know how we're getting to Disneyland. They just know we're going to Disneyland. And God and the angels are driving the bus down the 405 freeway, getting off the 55, and whatever the case may be. So when you do that, when you put your wants and your desires into the universe in the form of appreciation, in the form of excitement. And I don't even want to use the word gratitude, because when you can't visualize what you want, the gratitude seems to be a little hard to grab onto. So if you can appreciate the road that any challenges offer you, that as you stand in the unknown, it offers you to build strength in your faith muscle. Yes, Francesca says, if I can get to how it feels great once I'm there. It feels like I'm having fun and I'm, effortlessly getting on the rides at Disneyland and I'm laughing and I'm enjoying myself. Then Spirit has an open highway in some respects to remove obstacles more quickly. Sagittarius, for me, and I'm going to kind of belabor this a little bit, but the internet to me in many ways is spirit's or the soul's memory of what it's like to be in spirit, to be out of body. It is a community where there is no time, there is no actual bodies of people, there is no boundaries in communication. So when we go and we type we want to go to a certain website, if we hit the wrong key, if we hit the F instead of the G key, we're going to wherever F is. So when you're chiming into the universe with the things that you want, as you put those obstacles and you contemplate them and you ruminate on them and you chew on them, that's actually hitting the F key instead of the G key of where you want to go. So Francesca is saying, visualize where you want to go. Imagine what it's like there. And then Spirit will start to give you those experiences, those clues, those signs that you're moving in the right direction. If there's a stall, if you find yourself, with a pause, then go back and look at your thought process and see where you lack the innocence of a child. All right, let's go on to Capricorn. I have to say I'm a little paranoid that I'm going to forget somebody this week. It never happened before, so really in my head going, okay, next Capricorn. All right, Capricorn. Oh, Saturn's gone direct. You must be so excited. In your sign, you finally get to move forward. Whatever obstacles have been, stalls have been, pauses have been, they should be subsiding. And I haven't even pulled a card yet. Okay, first angel is Sonia. The second is Bethany. The third is Indriel, and the final is Layla. Oh, Spirit is very much wanting to connect with you this week. So Sonia, as I say often, represents a deceased loved one saying hello from heaven. I love you, I'm well. But as a collective, I always think of it as your spirit guides, as your team is checking in. Each one of you has a personal team of guides and angels. So they're saying, we're here, we're ready to play, we're ready to work for you. And Bethany is in the opportunity or the obstacle. She says, when you take excellent care of yourself, we get to open things up. So she's actually saying, what is the bigger picture of what you want? Turn that over to Spirit. And as I say this, Capricorn, my whole body went into chills, because this is a time, this is a week of shining your light the interior light, the knowing that if you've run up against obstacles over whatever period of time, that those obstacles are they're actually working for you. It's almost as if, let's just say you're an employer, and you have been looking for a new employee, and you've been trying to find somebody that you could find that was dependable, and just no candidates, or you hired somebody because seemed okay and it didn't work out. This is actually, all that disruption is actually spirit working in your favor to move out something that may be stagnant, so that it can move something in that will be more in alignment with what you want. The final card is Layla. The final angel is Layla, and she's really my mobile meditation. Your spirit guides very much want to connect with you, to give you signs and omens as you take care of yourself and you shine your light in a bigger picture of things. So let's say you have an employee that isn't working out, and you've been keeping that employee because, well, it's just easier than letting them go, and I don't want to go through the process of finding someone else. You may find yourself encouraged to line up to that bigger vision. It may behoove your employee to move on, that they have become stagnant in that position. This is all metaphoric, okay? It's all hypothetical. It could be a million different scenarios, but the guidelines are here. Where there's been stagnation, allow yourself to commune with God and the angels for a bigger picture of things, and then to open up to them giving you guided action to put yourself back in balance in those areas. All right, let's go on to Aquarius. All right, Aquarius, what is up for you this week? Our first angel is Chantal. The second is Rosetta. The third is Archangel Uriel. And the fourth is Astera. Okay, Aquarius. Chantal is the angel of romance, the angel of love. I got chills all over on my right side. Now, again, I'm talking to Aquarians all over the world, so some of you most definitely have been in relationships for many years. Some of you are not in relationships at all. Some of you have the potential of meeting somebody new, and you have the potential of a resurgence within your relationship. Now, when I say that, I feel like the resurgence has many, many ways it can take form, because people who have been together for decades aren't necessarily going to have the same type of romantic level that people who just met will. But that appreciation for that person in your life, what they bring, that's where I feel like things could get stoked. It's very interesting to me because I almost feel like on some level Aquarians have been going through a little bit of a challenge. I have Rosetta here, who is a card of children. And I want to say this too, because my Aquarians may have been having issues with their children, and then within their relationships, there may be disagreement in how to deal with it, or in how to approach it, or in the frustration of it. Because I have Archangel Uriel in the Angel's Advice for Rosetta. Now, if you don't have children, you could be wrestling with your own inner child or inner teenager, the one that wants to act out in a poor way in romance, rather than standing as the wise woman or the wise man that you've evolved into. Because I have in the final position Astera, saying reach for the stars with your desires, don't compromise. So as a collective for Aquarius, there is an opportunity, I believe, and I want to sometimes, when I see Chantal, I will think that it's falling kind of in love with myself, love with my own choices, love with how I've evolved, but I actually don't think that. I think it has to do with interactions with others on an intimate level. So if indeed you are single and you have wanted to meet somebody and you're frustrated, Archangel Uriel will say you're frustrated, having the innocence of a child like Rosetta offers you in your opportunity. And then when you're contemplating your partner, contemplating their character rather than their physical appearance or their financial body, their character, how do they show up in the world? Are they kind when they argue? Are they generally a happy person? really focusing in on those characteristics will help Spirit bring someone to you that matches those dynamics. And then the other half of this, Aquarius, is for you to be the partner which you seek. So if you want to be with somebody who is romantic, then be romantic for the sake of romance, not for manipulation or to try to get the other person to be romantic back. I really think that this is kind of fun because this very much feels, I mean, Aquarius, you're born during Valentine's Day. So I really think that this has to do with love. So if indeed, again, you're single or you've been in a very long-term relationship, having new eyes on the whole idea of love is really the first stepping stone, and then Spirit can start to move things around a little bit for you. It feels kind of fun. It feels like a fun week. Keep your eyes open. All right, let's go on to Pisces. Last but not least. My hair is suddenly bugging me, guys. I don't know why. This is terrible having to look at yourself while you do these videos, honestly. Okay, Pisces. Our first angel is Omega, victory. And then you have Mystique, another magical unicorn. Then Fiona and Patience. Oh, and I just got goosebumps everywhere. Okay, so you've got the two magical unicorns, Omega and Mystique. Both. It's so interesting because Omega is a white unicorn with these beautiful white wings saying, victory, your desired outcome is happening in the very near future. Just keep up the good work. Just keep moving forward. Then I have Mystique, which is a unicorn, a black unicorn that's coming out of the dark and into the light. I kind of hear Gloria Estefan. And she is saying, expect miraculous solutions. Don't take no for an answer. And it isn't about being confrontational, Pisces. This is about, Fiona's in the angel's advice, saying now that you've asked God and the angels for help, be open to receiving their guidance. And in the final position, I have Patience. Patience is not about sitting on an egg and waiting for something to happen. It's about learning and gathering and information as a result of my energetic body. So go back. Omega is saying that what your desire is going to come to fruition. Omega is saying, I believe that it's going to happen the way you want it to happen, or at least 90% of the way you want it to happen. So expect that. And as you expect it, stand in appreciation and thank God and the angels for it, because you're going to learn something about this. The real victory doesn't come from the situation. It comes from the energetic dynamic that you remember about yourself and take into the future when you find yourself in other places where you want to be victorious, or where you want to achieve, or where you want to be effectual in some way. It's this ebb and this flow. It's this being able to visualize what it is you want, being tenacious enough to continue to take guided action, methodical action. And when you're standing in a place of unknowing, what is the next step? Thank you, God and the angels, for giving me guided action, for giving me the eyes to see what the next step is, and then stepping back and observing before you move forward. In fact, I got to say this because we do these weekly videos. This may be the week where you're stepping back, and in the stepping back, you actually become more victorious. I did sales training years ago where there was some kind of weird dynamic that when you're trying to sell somebody something, whoever speaks last loses. So I guess they're telling the salespeople, don't over talk. So if there's something about this dynamic here that when I look at Patience, it's almost like it's not for us to have the last word. And how will it happen? How do I make it happen? It's Spirit that gets the last word to show. Well, wait, I said that wrong. Because I want Spirit to guide you. I don't want Pisces to be the one that says, that pushes. It's a time of ebbing. It's a time of sitting back in open reception and saying, show me which way to go. Show me what to do next. Because somebody else over here may create a dynamic that then shows you where to go or opens something up. I don't quite know what the scenario will be because there's obviously thousands of you Pisces out there. But as you stand in this, I believe that I feel a joyous energy. I feel triumph without having to have squashed somebody else. I feel like a win-win on the board. So, and sometimes the win-win comes from somebody actually being more aware of their own energetic dynamic coming into a situation. So a person can win when they lose because of the dynamic with which they endeavored the situation in the first place. So let me just kind of be clear with my weird metaphors. If you're in a situation where you've had wrestling up with somebody and you just don't know what to do with them and you feel like, oh my God, Spirit is offering you victory by staying the line of your position without being bully, pushy, or acquiescing, but instead going to Spirit and saying, thank you for taking care of this for me. And then the patience card is where you learn how Spirit does that. You actually observe how they will put the other person or the other half of the dynamic in a situation that balances it. And that's a very valuable tool to take forward in other situations and dynamics where you may be unsure. All right, that's it for this week, guys. Again, my name is Teri Hunter. I'm an angel therapy practitioner, Reiki master, intuitive guide, and empowerment coach. And if you'd like to book a private session with me, all the information is below. Have a great week, everybody, and I'll see you next Thursday. Bye-bye.